mighty power, rushing plays and scores retold. In this podcast the game unfolds, every try and tackle shared, legends of the field, none compared. Echoes of cheers, the crowd gets loud. In this audio space we feel so proud. Pass the word, let the speakers blast, rugby tales from the present and past. Through the airwaves our spirits cast, in this rugby love forever vast.
Guys, we've watched a lot of cricket Saturday with the under-20s. Um, I want to start off by saying, wow, we are so blessed and yet so unfortunate to have so many talent in South Africa, because you can't make everybody a Springbok, or not everybody can play for the Lions or the Sharks or this or that. So
Yeah.
Europe and Japan is going to get some new influx very soon.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminds me of? Remember there was a time, and oddly enough, they all kind of got brought in by the Bulls, and then eventually went elsewhere. But there was that generation that had, I think it was the same time Pollard was coming up, where it was Jan Serfontein, William Small-Smith. I feel bad, I can't remember the third person. Was Berger Odendahl the third person? I'm trying to remember, but there were 3 or 4 in that group where it was like, all right, well, where are these guys going to go? What's going to happen? And for a while they were all at the Bulls. Then they kind of dispersed, and it really seemed like once they made the step up to senior level, they were all going to be Boks.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind keeping like 50% of that team going to the seniors and play 2031.
No, exactly. I mean, look, I was looking at it, and remember I listed who the Lions guys were, and watching them, I was like, cool. This is a good sign for us if we can hang on to them, because they're looking pretty good. Of course, the big thing always is it's 2 things. One, no offense to Uruguay, but that was a game that the Baby Boks were always going to win, and also respect to Uruguay because they kept fighting and they got that try at the end. That's something where it's like, look, it's terrible to be beaten that badly, but the fact that you could see that they didn't just stop playing; they were still actively trying throughout the game is a good thing. But it is also that where we're watching the Baby Boks play against people who are their age mates. So the hope is that when they play against grown men, they'll also be fine.
Yeah. Oom Johan, Christo, hoor julle ons?
Ek luister maar. Look, on the end of the day, I think on the end of the day is they are getting experience slowly. But I think on the end of the day, that's where we just speak about, we spoke about it, is where you bring them into the Currie Cup now. Some of them, not all of them, but you actually bring them slowly. You can't throw them in the deep end and say swim. They will drown. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think on the end of the day, but that's, for me, on the end of the day, they are playing well. I want to see when they play against England. Let's see what they do. But I think on the end of the day I think, there's a lot of good rugby players, youngsters out there. And they might play overseas. They may not play overseas. There's some of them who might, they'll play now, and when they're older, they'll stop playing. It's just one of those things. It just depends, how the cookie crumbles on the end of the day. So yeah, I think then you can bring them through on the Currie Cup slowly. You know,
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
play 1 or 2 games, or let them, sub for say second half and take it from there.
And this is why it's so great that we've got that under 23 competition now as well.
That's it. I think that helps a lot as well. Bring this out through, and you can actually. No, that helps as well. Very true. Very true. Yeah.
And even club rugby. Club rugby is getting huge again. It's not like we thought it was dying out, but club rugby is huge again.
Yeah, no, it's coming, It's coming. Look, sad news about that one player that actually got killed at Alberton. Peter knows about as well. You know as well, Moya.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite sad. I know the family quite well. Yeah, it was a big accident. He got tackled, and yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
that-
it really is always a shame when that happens, and yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, look, it's quite a shocker. I have to be honest. The family's quite, but he enjoyed what he did. He had fun.
Yeah.
But it was his time, on the end of the day.
Yeah.
That was his time. But yeah, no, I think we've got good players, young players. Like Neil said, club as well. So yeah, I think a lot of those youngsters will go to club as well if they can't get into the squads that they need to. They still play club rugby. So yeah, it's healthy. It's good.
Do you know what is helpful for me when you see this under 20s? How many Lions players are there? And then you realize, wow, years past you will get 1 or 2 or whatever. Now you have a few. Every match there's about 4, 5, 6 around. So that's
Yeah.
just positive. Now you can see they started to come from varsity in school, from varsity, start building up. And if we can keep those guys in 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to be top players playing for the Springboks and so on. Because I saw they played. That number 10 plays for me very well. Even number 5, Hartong, or number 4. He looks now a really good guy in the line out and what. So that's positive. Those guys, you can build a year or 2 around those guys and start bringing your team up for the Currie Cup and URC and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm happy to see there's so many players.
Exactly. And what we keep on saying about if we can get a spine that runs through the team where we know, like, cool, these are the guys that will be the spine of the team, and you kind of rotate around that can work quite well.
Yeah, unfortunately, the other flip side, I don't want to be negative, is we're known, not only these days, we've always been a union that brings the youngsters up successfully. But where's the silverware? Sometimes it needs to come. And with the quality we have now of the youngsters, I can see maybe not in the next year or the next 2 years, but definitely in the 3, 4 years from now on, we will be a force to be reckoned with, either Currie Cup or URC, or if we still play there, doesn't matter. That youngsters, because we still have a young team. Now, the URC team is still young. Now you have that influx of that youngsters as well coming in. It's going to be good times.
Yeah.
Can just keep them with us. Yeah, it will be wonderful.
Yeah.
And Niels, I guys, sorry for calling in late, but I heard Peter also speaking now about JD Hutton. I actually want to see how he plays now on, on number 4 for the box on Thursday against Georgia, because he is again in the starting lineup. And I actually think now, because we lost Lombard and we lost Skuma now, I would actually bring him in immediately in the line setup. He's a very
Jy breek op, Elias.
Alex?
Ja, kom en gaan.
Again. Nee, shit. Yeah, but he's a
You
very
must,
good player.
you must get yourself a new provider. Because yours is not working very like, right?
Yeah, you know what it is. I don't think it's my provider. I think it's this flipping crap phone that I have, and I don't think it's got the newer software on it. So I actually think it's my phone, but I'll check quickly now.
Yeah. But
Yeah, look at it, guys. Sorry, man. You were saying, what?
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, with the locks that we have, is it Aranya and Hatting? I honestly think, yeah, I would agree. Both of them. Let's see if we can filter them in. Because again, even if it's just time off the bench, particularly in the home games, let's get them going, because who knows if they're able to produce, then we've got something. And we gambled when we gave Ruan Fenter an opportunity, and to think, like, again, he's only like 23 or something now, and is a mainstay in the team. The hope is that we can get that from these youngsters who are coming up.
You guys feel we're going to do the same like the Stormers did last year with the Curry Cup? Just play the youngsters, no URC players?
No, look, there's some URC guys we're going to use, but I will say we absolutely cannot play guys who have played the whole season. Like I saw now that the Sharks are already in URC preseason, and it just feels like madness, because you haven't had enough of a break where our last URC game was when start of June.
Yes.
Right. So I'm saying, like, at least give the guys till start of August, then start preparing for URC, which will start mid-September. So I would say, like, guys who didn't play much URC and or are coming back from injury, like JC Pretorius, I would say let's use him, but also let's not play him into the ground in Curry Cup. But let's use him a bit. A few guys like that, yes, but otherwise, what we need to do is essentially establish who the next people in line are, because we know who our URC starters are. And for us to have depth for URC, we need to then be sure, cool, we now know exactly who's number 2, 3, and 4 in each position going forward.
Just a pity that it's a 1 round Curry Cup and not a 2 round. If it was a 2 round, then you can have played with the youngsters a lot more. But now you're forced. It's a 1 round. You
Yes.
play each team just once. So it'll be interesting to how we gamble that.
Yeah, but again, good news is that Under 23 Cup helped us, because we know who of the youngsters we would want to have a look at now for Curry Cup. So again, so incredibly happy that that competition exists and has given us a bit of a go on also who's gelling with some of the senior guys that were sprinkled in.
No, I agree with Roy on that one. I think it's a good thing, and I agree. Curry Cup, let the youngsters play. Even if we lose, we lose. But we can see where the Oaks are going to fit in, if they have to. Because look, we've got 2 cups next year that we are playing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to need basically a B team, if you want to put it that way. Because the players that's going to play URC, they're going to battle to play the second cup. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be tiring. So you basically going to need a B team, basically what you're going to need. So I think let the youngsters play and let the guys rest. Maybe here and there, like you guys said, I said not to have much game time, but the rest, let them rest. To be honest, I won't play the URC guys if it's not necessary. If we lose the Curry Cup, we lose it. It's one of those things. It's not a Curry Cup is actually there to get the guys ready for the URC. That's basically it. That's how I see it. I don't, but yeah, so yeah.
That's the thing. I think we must start our mindset to differ from that. Christo, I hear what you're saying, and it is a playground for the URC pickings. But we must not forget, Curry Cup is the oldest tournament there is. We need to give it some respect. Um, to just like the Stormers did last year, I thought that was crazy. You're taking respect out of the a well-known competition, actually, because you're focusing on URC, and that didn't happen for them as well. I'm not saying I agree with you guys 100%. Put some of the URC, like Wayne Horn, you can't play that guy because he played URC. He's at the box. You cannot play him Curry Cup as well. But meant to under 20, he can get some game time, whether he was at the box or wherever. Give him game time. Pete didn't have that much minutes on URC. Give him that game time. Um, Still, we need some URC players that consistency will be in the team, but not the regular guys. Like I agree with you guys there, but we need to get some silverware. Hell,
Niels, I think I'm agree with you. If you go into the Curry Cup and you do well and you even win it, that self-confidence that you carry from there to the URC is just going to be that much huge. Take that player and say, you know what, you did well here. So you take that momentum into, but I think there's a week or two difference when the Curry Cup ends and the URC begins. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
just, I
1
think
week.
it's a week or 2 weeks. If I think on the 12th or 14th is the Curry Cup finals, and then on the 19th or the 26th, and the URC started. Now I was also thinking maybe this is a building for the URC, see what plays now. I think confidence is very important. If you don't do well in Curry Cup and you take most of the players and put them in the URC, they will think, we didn't do well here. How are we going to do there? With international players, But if they do well, again, and they can even win the Curry Cup, I think that confidence is just going to boost them for the URC. Even with the Champions Cup, we are there. Some people said, no, we're going to get hidings. I said, no, it's fine. Didn't play yet. I said, but I think that can boost the players. I said, you know what, we're there. If we can impress, then people's going to start looking at us in the Lions camp for Springboks and what. I think that's a blessing for us to be there.
Yeah. And to your point, Peter, like remember what happened this last season, where agonizingly lost that Curry Cup final, and our first few games in URC were just terrible, and it really came across as the guys were still feeling that loss in the Curry Cup, and also, in fairness, they might have also been a bit tired because they had been playing how many weeks in a row, and then it was straight into URC.
Having a good Curry Cup season with youngsters, a lot of youngsters, and some senior players will just give you a good headache for URC. That will be the best thing for us. But you have to end it with something to walk with home. I think we were, like you mentioned now, Moya, we were gutted after the second final in a row. You lose, and we could see that. But we made up with it, playing the Sharks to get to get the cup, the South African Cup with the URC. We made up with that. You could see the guys still felt that Curry Cup, and it was
Yes.
months after the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. It's going to be, I have to say, it's going to be interesting to see. But on the end of the day, look, if we do screw up the Curry Cup again because of stupidity, then like I said, on the end of the day, you have to put it behind you. You can't keep hovering about it. On the end of the day, you lost. That's one of those things. You have to go on. So for me, on the end of the day, hopefully we can win the Curry Cup this year. It will be nice, but if we don't, I don't think it's going to be a train smash. I think on the end of the day, for me is that then you know what you've got to play with and who's the backup players that's going to be there if you've got major injuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, on the end of the day, I think it will be nice if we can win the Curry Cup. I just hope we don't screw it up and, try and go score a try or keep the ball. Kick it out when the clock says kick it out,
Yeah.
I see the time is 21 minutes past 7. I know this is gonna get you guys talking. 21,000 ticket sales, Alice Park. What's your thoughts on that one? Is it Saru really overcharging,
Yes.
Yeah, they
or
are.
is it Alice Park is unsafe? That's gonna be a debate that will go on for weeks.
Look,
And what
Yeah,
is
but
the solution?
they
so
need to drop their prices.
yeah, because thinking about it like this, look at the Barbarians game. It was taken to the Eastern Cape because people in the Eastern Cape are really hungry for rugby, particularly Bok rugby. And so it was like,
Yeah,
cool, we're going through. Not only are you getting the Springboks, you're also getting South Africa A. So you get 2 games essentially for the price of 1. Mind you, the tickets are so expensive that it might as well be 2 games, right? But
yes,
you get that, and it was meant to be this festival of rugby and the crowd that was there really did well as a crowd,
yeah.
really nice and everyone seemed to be having a good time. But there were how many empty seats? So now, you can't then say, oh no, but you know, Ellis Park is not doing well because it's Ellis Park. Like maybe it's a contributing factor. Don't get me wrong, but the key thing is the ticket prices. Uh, last year, was it last year? The games against Australia in the Rugby Championship. Ellis Park wasn't sold out. People made a big noise about it. Cape Town Stadium wasn't sold out, and everyone's quiet about it. So, no, well, suddenly that conversation goes away. It's just whenever it's Ellis Park, suddenly say, oh, well, it must be because it's Ellis Park. And I get that, yes, there are safety concerns. However, have you seen how many options there are to get to the stadium? Where essentially, you will see the stadium and you will see, where you came from. That's it. You're not going to be driving through in your own vehicle through areas where you might feel unsafe. Like literally, there's park and rides, there's shuttles, there's the train. There's so many options. I think there's 13 park and ride options. And on top of that, there's shuttles and that from I think 4 other locations. Tickets are just
So
really
you know what?
expensive, is my view.
For me,
Mhm.
I'm a pensioner. Uh, the tickets are too expensive, genuine.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and for me, it's comfortable to watch the game in my house if I want a beer or if I want to smoke.
Mm,
Although I don't smoke in the house, I can go outside,
mm,
but watch the game on the TV. Uh, I would
mm,
love to go to the stadium, but I can't afford it.
mm,
That's the other point I want to make. Um, it's like we've won 2 World Cups. The price on the value of the Springbok just went skyrocketing, and they expect each and everybody on the street just to afford to be able to maintain that price level, that value the Springboks want. And at the end of the day, if you don't have supporters, there's no Springboks. There
Yeah,
are only Springboks while they have supporters. Um, and that's saying also with any merchandise of the Springboks. Check out the prices went up on a Springbok jersey, a Springbok scarf, a Springbok hat, a Springbok whatever. So what's happening is you're going to have Springbok supporters not wearing any merchandise. You can't see that's a Springbok. They go home and they watch it on their TV if they can afford DSTV. Some can't even afford that.
yeah,
So what do you play for? That World Cup that you won, you won it for who?
yeah. Look,
yeah,
I think part of the tricky business is, you know, Saru. came out and said, and I think it was around the time of the equity deal in that as well, they were saying they needed to leverage the Springbok brand a lot better. And so, I get them trying to do it, but I think it is that where a friend and I were chatting about how, in a way, there's a happy medium, right? Where you can't be like, you can't have the tickets be the same price as going to see the Lions or Stormers or those sorts of teams, because it is the box. It's something where this is an experience, and for some people it will be a once in a lifetime experience sort of thing, right? Like you want that big match feel whenever the Boks are in town. So I get it in that regard, but you can't also do it where you've priced out pretty much everyone. Where for example, like, you might hear more English fans than South African fans at the game, because hey, if you're coming with pounds, those prices are not that bad, and so cool, you'll pay. But if you're used to earning in rand, you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have to sort of how can I put it? You shouldn't have to save for a year to do it. If you're like, cool, I can maybe save for a month or two for Bok tickets. And look, I know with the inequality in South Africa, some people it would literally be almost a year's worth of saving, but yeah, you still want it to be accessible, albeit maybe not a thing where it feels like you're giving away the brand, as it were.
Don't you guys also think when you guys like when the Springboks is playing like Ellis Park, Loftus, wherever, don't you think the union also say no? Okay, the Springboks is playing here. We want the tickets must be, we want per what do you call a person that comes in. We want like 400 rand to come to us. Don't you think they think, okay, maybe the Springboks they can get 50,000, close to 55, to bring them in, make it high, so we get the money. So when we are playing the URC, we don't make that much money. We have this backup money to keep on the lights and whatever. Don't you think it's the unions also that wants a high position of paying? Well, there's another Springboks put this price higher and higher and higher, and then it becomes.
No, the unions got nothing to do. It's not like the old days. The old days, the unions was normally the ones that ran everything. They used to take the money, but now they get a fee. So the Boks run it. So let's say they play at Ellis Park this weekend. They run the Boks run everything, and the Lions get a fee of that money. That's it. But for me, the biggest thing. So for me, the biggest thing is on the end of the day is to come back to the tickets. Yes, I know you can't charge the same as the Stormers game. I understand that. But to pay $5,000 to go sit, and you can't even see the players. You can't even see the players. That's a little bit high. I think that's a little bit overkill. If you want to go lower, you look almost. If you want to basically sit and see the players on the field, it's like $10,000 a ticket. Now I think that's a little bit overkill. Nobody's got $10,000 lying around. Even if you save up 2 months or 3 months or say a year. Like you said, Maya, people that have jobs, they can't afford it. I can tell you a lot of people in Cape Town can't afford it. So they can't go watch the game. So yeah, what's the next best to the thing is they'll rather stream it or go watch it at a pub. Now for me, it's on the end of the day is now you look 40, there's 44 seats still available. Okay. They're not going to sell those out. People are not, if they drop the prices, they say we'll give it to you 1,000 a ticket, I can tell you Oaks will take it.
Yeah.
And so only the guys that got the money, and that's the Oaks that stay in Sandton or Bryanston or Four Ways, or Constantia, or all those rich Oaks can afford to pay $5,000 a ticket. But our local Oaks can't. I've got a normal job. You can't. You have to. What do you think? Are you going to buy bread, or are you going to rather put that money away for a ticket? No, I'm sorry. And I think a lot of us. What's the manager or the director of the Bulls? I don't know what his name is.
Willem Strauss.
Strauss.
Yeah, he also said
Willem Strauss.
it's a big problem. It's a huge problem. They actually did an interview with him, and he said it's a huge problem because now, the unions are not getting the money; they're getting a set fee, and the rest are all going to the Oaks pockets. And I'm sorry, a lot of Oaks are taking money in their pockets. And for me, it's just it's ridiculous. And now you want to build the Bok brand, but like you said, half is probably going to be England's going to be there. You're probably going to have more English supporters than Bok supporters.
Yeah, I also think what's happening there is, like you were saying now, they get a fee from the union, and I think this year we've got 3 tests, and that adds a lot to our budget, because obviously we don't get people in when it's a Lions game, but when it's a Springboks game, usually you'll get a full stadium, a 62 to 65,000.
He's gone. Hello.
Kan jy my hoor?
Ja, je kom en gaan, maar as hoor wat jy sê, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And again, sorry, I'll sort out my phone. But also, we've got 3 tests now. What they're going to do now for the next season is they're going to give us less tests. If we don't fill up this stadium, or we don't at least get 50,000 people, we're going to have problems with that. And I agree with the the fees and all that. And it might be the Nations Cup. Let's see what they're going to ask when we have the the rivalry with.
Yes.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what they're going to ask then.
Yeah.
I can promise you, we're going to get people.
Not the Boks, that's the Lions. So
I think you can get more players or more people to go and watch. Because when the All Blacks team, doesn't matter where they go, they are bringing people to the stadium because when these 2 teams meet, doesn't matter if it's the Springboks of your club, like Transvaal or Lions and so on. Yeah, I promise you, it will be better. You will see. You will get more people for that.
Yeah.
The Children's Nation Cup. I can promise you. The people will say, you know what? We will put the money away now for that. We don't care about this. This is nothing for us.
Yeah, and the game with the FNB, what's going to be played at FNB, does the Lions also get a fee there? I'm not sure about that.
I don't think so, but
that will go to the FNB stadium. It won't go to the Lions, it will go to the FNB stadium. You see the
So why don't they take the England to FNB stadium? Why didn't they say, let's go to that stadium, 100,000+ people, take it away from Ellis Park, put something else, the smaller, like Wales or what, take England there, and I think you will get more people to pack the stadium. I will guarantee you, maybe you will lucky get 75,000 to 80,000 people to go there.
I don't think you'd get that many, especially because again it's the price that's hurting the situation at the moment.
The same as because they want to bring the people in. Maybe they would already pay 5,000 Alice Park. They will say, okay, we make the 3,000 then. Come down with 2,000 because I'm going to get more people in. So I'm going to make more money out of that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Get 20,000 people or 22,000 people. Yes, guarantee. Maybe I could get 60, 70, 75,000 people. So it's better for me.
Yeah, fair enough. But I want to say Ellis Park is still one of the biggest in the country. So the hope is that, like again, even if they only get up to 50, or like even if they get like 40 to 44, that's like it's not great, but it's not terrible either in terms of revenue. But I will say one thing that Saru did that is actually kind of good. So like when buying season tickets, like I'll use the Lions as the obvious example, and I think it's the same for the other unions, but can't really confirm. But I know for the Lions season tickets, when you're buying or renewing, there was the option to to include the BOC tests, right? So it's like if you get the top tier Lions season ticket, it was 2,200. Then I think it would come up to something like 5,000 something if you included the BOC tests. And yeah, and I do kind of like that where it's giving season ticket holders the opportunity to retain their seats for that, because that was an issue where the box switched the ticketing system to be like, actually, season ticket holders, like, yeah, no, you don't count. Like, you will need to buy your tickets as well. And you're not guaranteed your own seat. You might end up like somewhere far from where you usually sit. And that, like, it really caused problems for the unions as well, because fans were looking at the unions like, hey, this is your fault, and they're like, no, actually, it's Saru's fault.
Yeah, I remember we had the same discussion with Eugene many moons ago, and he came up with a proposal and said, listen, the first rows, you take like 5 rows, and you make that the expensive tickets, like 5,000 rand a ticket. Then the next 3 rows, you go to 2,500 or 3,000, and then you work your way up. So you get your cheapest. There on top, you basically see nothing.
I see if you
Rand per seat.
get tickets see 1,000 something, maybe you sit behind the poles, so you can see nothing at all.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, your first seats are like, and that's, I spoke about it. Your first seats now, to buy a ticket now, it's 10 grand. That's your first seats in front, right across the stadium. If you go around, your first seats, for me, that's a lot of money. It's just for me at the end of the day. So I don't know if they're gonna. There was talks that they want to drop the price, but it's not 100% yet. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think on the end of the day, look, I agree with Niels. Say 5,000 rand for that makes sense, more or less. And then as you go higher up, then it gets cheaper. But look, Sorrow wants their money, and they're not going to change it. They won't. They want their pound of flesh, and if they don't change their mind, it's going to cost them very badly. The BOC brands, actually.
Speaking of something, continue, Moya.
I was just going to say, one wonders if they'll actually backpedal this season, or if they'll just say, you know what, we'll do what we can this season, and maybe next season they bring it down. Especially because there might be fewer tests next season anyway, because it's a World Cup year, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
What I wanted to say, something else we cannot change. The Springbok selection team for this weekend against England. Any thoughts from you guys? I'm happy Mani is there. Let's give Mani a shot hook, because what I heard in Japan, he is kicking evolved really well. So, and that was the thing we all mentioned about Mani, the kicking for poles, the distribution, everything else was on par. We just wanted that. Now, apparently, I didn't watch his games, but I read some good things about what he did there. To see him there with Grant Williams, 2 speedsters, or a speedster, and him with the distribution. You have Curtly Orense, you have Colby on the wings. That's a lot of speed.
And Colby can kick if we're worried about Mani's kicking. So
exactly.
That's something that I appreciate as well. Where you have a team with multiple kickers, hey, you know what? If you're worried about the one guy, cool. There's always the next guy.
Yeah, I'm happy with the starting lineup with the top 15, but not with the 23. Just from my side, I don't think a guy like Marco Verstappen is a good substitute to get there. I really don't think he deserves his place. Gerard Steenkamp starting, because I know Wilkelo is apparently not well, so they're starting with Gerard Steenkamp, in the starting lineup. So that's not too bad. But I also agree with Bonnie Libbok starting. So I think that will.
I wonder what network he's on. Virgin Active.
Can you know my word?
Ek hoor jou, Elias.
Wat hoor jy, Elias?
Yeah, sorry. But Carl Duplessis said that we're not focusing on a bomb squad anymore, that we're actually focusing on utility forwards and backs. And I can see that with the starting 23, so it will be interesting to see how we play against England. And obviously, I'm dying to see what Pollock is going to do with Jasper Wiese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's going to be
That one's
massive.
going to be interesting. But I'm going to tell you guys that he's hard. He's not a small guy. He's young, but he's not a pushover. Not at all. I think when you have bronze and brains versus the other, I don't know. He's more agile than Jasper. Jasper is more direct. If Jasper gets a hit in or he finds his way in front of Jasper, yeah, there's going to be some damage. But my thinking is he's going to do anything in his power just to avoid that situation and use his agility to get his stamp on the game.
Yeah, he's gonna get hammered, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a flashy guy. But just another thing the guy said today, I spoke to him as well. England's not practicing. These guys are on holiday. They are having a lacquer time at the moment. They're not practicing. They actually scuba diving, playing tennis, enjoying South Africa at the moment. They're not practicing, where the Boks are practicing and getting every minute they can get into practice. These guys are. I think England's a little bit cocky. I think they think they're going to hammer us, and I think it's a good thing for us. But yeah, no, look, I'm going to tell you now. They're going to hammer this oak, and I can tell you the first oak that's going to hammer him, if he's on par, is Etzebeth, Etzebeth's going to go for him. Even what's his name? This place for Japan. He's playing. I think he's playing. I'm trying to think now, man. I think he's playing also Frank, if I'm not mistaken. That blonde oakie that's playing overseas. Yeah, Peter wants a piece of him as well. He said he wants a piece of him. So you've got two guys that's going to hammer him. That's going to go for him. Because he was bad-mouthing South Africa a lot the last few weeks. So it's going to be interesting.
They must just keep their channels and not just gun for him. Because we saw what happened when people run at us directly. We saw what happened.
Yeah. But you also think about it like this. It could also be a bit of a trap where, again, if you, and it's happened with other teams as well, if you put the focus on essentially neutralizing one guy, like everyone's sort of focused on, like, it's this. All you have to do is just, you can have him touch the ball, but if they make it so, like, fine, he's releasing the ball right before contact each time, and suddenly everyone's so zoned in on, like, hey, I need to make a big hit on him, that suddenly you're not seeing the next guy looping around or the next guy, doing what's there. So, look, the hope is that the Boks know well enough to just stick to the plan. If they can, if they can get a crack at him, that's a bonus for them, or that should be a bonus for them.
Yeah, look, they're probably going to give one out the job to take care of him. I don't know who it's going to be, but you'll probably get one out at all, and the rest needs to just be vigilant and cover the rest of the players.
Yeah,
that can also probably happen.
I miss the old days now. when you would sacrifice one player and just tell him, listen, your job is just go take that guy off. We don't worry about the card. We just saying, just that's your job. You go on the field and you just make sure he goes on the stretcher off the field.
Bakkies water. And I only stretch.
Even front row, Yanni, what is his name? The two brothers.
Bismarck and Yanni.
Yeah, Bismarck and Yanni. Yeah. See, Yanni, you know, yeah, you and Barkies. This sort of stuff. You were familiar.
Other two brothers as well, eh? There's other two brothers as well. I can't remember their names, but there's other two brothers that played for the Bulls as well. They didn't play long, but they also did the same job.
Yeah. But honestly, do you guys think this is going to be a real test for the Springboks?
Yeah.
For me, I know this is a New England team. I'm not expecting too much of them to compete with the Boks. If I have to make a prediction, we're going to make predictions. Mine will be like at least 19 points for the Boks. At least 19. Because I don't know what's waiting on us.
I'm keeping it boxed by 5 because it's exactly that. You know, like, look, you have to believe as well. Like, if England are kind of, you know, not really focusing on their training and that, it has to be because that's part of the plan. You know, I wouldn't think they would come here and sort of not perform, especially because what happened last year. Last year, the RFU had to come through and say, listen, we are backing Steve Borthwick. Like, yes, we know results haven't been all what we wanted, but we're not firing him. That still may change. So, you know, it's not like he's pressure free. And the same with the players. You know, good as you are, you know, you also don't want a situation where, like, say they underperform and Borthwick gets let go. Next coach will be like, well, look, I know I can't trust you to perform necessarily, so okay, you know, let me bring someone else in, or like, fine, I'll keep you in, but I'm definitely phasing you out because, you know, if you can do that to one coach, you will end up doing that to me. So slowly but surely, you know, filter those guys out. Yeah. So I honestly think they're going to make a valid push for it. And yeah, we can't underestimate them.
Yeah, you can't.
Was it Kyle Sinclair or Joe Marler? Which one retired? Was it Marler that retired?
Marler.
Marler retired. Now, Kyle Sinclair, not there.
Yeah,
Marco
he's playing in France at the moment. Yeah.
Both Vonipolas, not there. Itoje. Since Broadbeach came in, he started pushing those guys. Noel. He started pushing that regular guys that we all know in the Indian team. If team selection before team selection, you would know Mayo Itoye will be there. He would be there. Billy Vonipola, he's going to be there. Now, he came and he shakes things up. The same with the All Blacks now. If you check the All Blacks team sheet for this weekend, the same thing. Number 10, there's no D-Mac. There's no Bowden. There's no Geordie there even. It's a new guy coming in. It's all shaken up there as well. So that's going to be interesting for me this test seasons now because we don't know what to expect.
Yeah, but if you actually look at the All Blacks players, half of them have got the Hurricanes in there.
Yeah, and understandably, like you do have to reward form like that.
Yes, no, sure, of course.
The same with the Crusaders. How many years were the Crusaders basically 90% of the All Black team?
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah, look, it's gonna be interesting to see. For me, at the end of the day, I don't know. I think where we're gonna see where it really matters is against the All Blacks. Maybe this weekend a little bit. But like for me, at the end of the day, these guys are they are going to be careful because there's a lot of new players, and they're going to make mistakes because it's their first game, and for me, at the end of the day, they're going to be very careful not to piss off the coach. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be touch and go for them. Look, like you guys said, Mario, maybe they're working with a plan. You never know. Maybe their plan is, these guys are probably already ready. That's why they're taking a little bit of a break. Maybe the last few weeks they've been hammering it. You never know.
Yeah. Mm.
And
Doesn't
now they're
release-
just taking it easy. So I don't know.
Doesn't really say 23 yet.
Hey?
Doesn't really say team yet.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't
England.
No.
No.
That team's apparently Thursday or Friday. It may be earlier, but that's what they said they'll release. So yeah, I don't know.
I also think that the box will be too strong for England. Now, 2 years ago they started off very strong, but I don't think if you also looked at the Six Nations, they weren't too great, and I think we're just going to be too strong for them. I'm actually hoping that it will be a better.
Last night, yeah, yes.
Gone in 60 seconds.
I don't think it's a problem on his network. I think it's on your settings you can adjust your voice sensitivity. I think maybe it's a problem with that because if it's network, then he won't be able to come on and then suddenly just drop and come on and suddenly just drop.
No, it could be the network as well. It depends. Yeah, look, it could be the network. That's why they are. What we normally say is they're actually putting the brakes on it. It could also be the area where he stays as well. But it's a lot to do with his with the internet provider. He's depends who he's got as well. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I think look, I think it's going to be interesting to see if you play. Chitra, are you back?
Ja, nee, ek luister na julle en ek hoor dit wat julle sê. Sorry again for my network. But I agree with it. I'm hoping it's going to be a good test, and I hope it's going to be close, but I don't think it's going to be close. I think we're just going to be too strong for them.
Okay, predictions. Mine stay at 19. Moya, you said 5.
Yeah.
9 box by 15.
Yeah, I'll say about 8.
Box by 13.
Okay. Yeah.
Peter,
Hello, Niels. Box by 17.
17. Okay. Now I'm the highest. No, man. Somebody say 20. I was talking big here and saying no, at least 19. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. But one thing I want to ask you guys before we go: did any of you check the Wales and Barbarians game?
It was a nice game, right?
I watched it.
Actually, it was.
How did Wales get that win?
I said to
How did
someone,
Wales get that win? Was Barbarians not on?
They say Barbarians is weak and what. I say, yeah, the one who played the Springboks, that one played once was a different team, completely. A lot of other players. I said, that guys get maybe a week or what to practice together. Give them a team and say, okay, go and play like 6 games. I say, yeah, but the game number 3, what, they're going to start know one another, what to do, how to do it, and so on. I thought it was a nice game. I thought once was weak.
Yeah, but
I was surprised to see they won.
Right?
I was surprised to see Wales won that one.
Yeah, by 2 points. They were lucky. They were very lucky. Oh, I think on the end of the day is I think also, if you look at the way they were playing, they were playing like river warriors because the way they threw the ball, it was someone just throw the ball, let's see where the ball lands. And I think also, I think on the end of the day, I think he's Faf made a huge difference, to be honest, when he was on. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know watch the game, but I think Faf made he actually put his body on the line. I think that's why he's not in the box squad at all.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think from next week we will cover all the tests, my predictions of all the tests. Let's just see what the team's basically going to look like before we we do that.
Yeah.
But with the box, I hope we do it well. That would be one step ahead for Nations Cup, because I still think the Southern Hemisphere will beat the Northern Hemisphere either way. What do you guys quickly? Last one. I forgot about this. What do you guys feel about the draws of the World Cup? It's like basically the games doesn't have to be played. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 go through. Maybe if Scotland and some other teams make maybe upset, but if you check the pools, you can take the top two and just say, listen, like it is now, and say, listen, that is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I look on the end of the days, for us, we're gonna have to play against New Zealand, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about
It's-
pool
it's-
stages now, Chris. To pool stages.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is, look, look on the end of the days, it's gonna be for us. It's easy because New Zealand's gonna run through them, we're gonna run through them, and it's gonna be us against New Zealand to go to the next phase. But I think this whole thing was I don't know. Because now it can go 50-50 for us at the end of the day for next year. Let's say we lose against New Zealand, then we're out.
Yeah.
That's I just think that's well, they did it was really stupid. But they did it for a point. These guys did to show a point. Because we won the last World Cup and now they want to make a point out of it. That's all it is. That's why they did it like that.
Yeah, because it gives more Northern Hemisphere teams opportunity to go through. So, like, you'll likely see Ireland and France ending up, ending up higher than they did before.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. You guys have a nice evening.
Yeah, you guys too. Thank you.
Be
And maybe
safe.
I'll be back on the weekend.
Yeah. Cool. Good night.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
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 Cheers.